Have you ever wondered what getting shot feels like, or what happens to your body when a bullet pierces your skin, or how much it costs to treat a gunshot? Getting shot is undoubtedly one of the worst things you can experience in your life. However, with tens of thousands of people killed by firearms in just the US alone each year, the chances of experiencing this terrifying phenomenon may not be as small as it seems. Therefore, we decided to compile this list. I'm Mike with List 25, and these are 25 shocking facts about getting shot. After analyzing 677 shootings, a study carried out by the University of Pennsylvania found that people who carried guns were 4.5 times as likely to be shot and 4.2 times as likely to get killed compared with unarmed citizens. Getting shot is expensive. According to the New York Times, the average cost of a gunshot wound is $14,600 for emergency care and $35,400 for lifetime medical care resulting from the shooting. This doesn't include things like court costs, mental health care, unemployment, and other expenses. The average speed of a bullet is around 1,700 miles per hour, or 2,500 feet per second. To put this into perspective, the speed of sound is around 761 miles per hour, or 1,100 feet per second.
22.
In most cases, the bullet won't pass through the victim's body cleanly. Instead, it'll ricochet around inside the body as it glances off bone, causing more damage as it does.
21.
Women who have been severely injured are 14% more likely to survive than similarly injured men. Scientists believe the difference may be due to the negative impact of male sex hormones on a traumatized immune system.
20.
Researchers estimate that gun violence costs the American economy at least $229 billion every year, including $8.6 billion in direct expenses, such as for emergency and medical care.
19.
The odds of surviving a gunshot greatly depends on key factors, such as the location of the injury, the amount of blood lost, and how quickly the victim gets to the hospital. Generally, the chances that a person will survive a critical gunshot wound have increased by up to 40% over the last 20 years.
18.
Each year, more than 32,000 people are killed by guns in the US. In fact, the total number is probably even higher, because some gun-related deaths are left out of the CDC stats.
17.
When the victim is shot in the head, the bullet will travel through their brain faster than the speed at which their tissues tear. This means the bullet is actually pushing tissues out of the way, stretching them beyond their breaking points.
16.
Bulletproof vests are actually not bulletproof. Bullet-resistant is a more accurate expression. In an extremely minute percentage of cases, the bullet, for example those with a serrated edge, can get through the vest.
15.
According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, for every person who dies from a gunshot wound, 2 others are wounded.
14.
Being shot in the left side of the heart generally causes more bleeding than being shot in the right side, because the right side has lower blood pressure.
13.
Bleeding out is one of the most common causes of death associated with gun violence, but it can be prevented by using special injectable sponges. These sponges expand once inside the wound, plugging the cavity left by the bullet in just 15 seconds.
12.
If you get shot and get medical attention quickly enough, there's a 95% survival chance for you.
11.
Surprisingly, the will to live has been frequently cited as one of the most important factors in the mortality of gunshot cases, as well as all sorts of other traumas.
10.
In addition to local damage in tissue caused by direct impact, the bullet can also produce remote wounding and incapacitating effects in living targets through a hydraulic effect in their liquid-filled tissues. This phenomenon is known as hydrostatic shock, or hydraulic shock.
9.
A U.S. Navy SEAL named Mike Day was knocked unconscious by a grenade and shot 27 times in a terrifying shootout in Iraq in 2007. Against all odds, he survived to tell his incredible story.
8.
The main concern with gunshot wounds that involve the intestine or stomach is not bleeding, but infections that result from spillage of the contents of those organs.
7.
There are 2 basic types of gunshot wounds, the entrance wound and the exit wound. The entrance wound is normally smaller and quite symmetrical in comparison to the exit wound, which tends to be larger and more destructive because the bullet reaches the end of its trajectory and has to force harder to push through the tissue.
6,
Most of those 32,000-ish gun-related deaths that happen in the US each year are by suicide.
5,
People who are shot from the front to the back of the head often have a better chance than those shot from side to side. This is because a bullet traveling from front to back generally destroys just one of the brain's two hemispheres, while a side-to-side shot usually damages both of them.
4,
Aiming for limbs to create flesh wounds is a movie myth, and not something that police or soldiers ever train to do.
3,
A small percentage of gunshot deaths are due to a condition known as tension pneumothorax, also known as a collapsed lung. The lungs have no muscles, and they expand due to negative pressure inside of the pleural cavity, which means any type of hole can cause the condition.
2,
In 2007, nearly 70% of all murders in the US were committed with a firearm.
1,
The survival rate of a gunshot wound to the head is about 5%. However, only 3% of those survivals have a good quality of life afterward. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the bottom right so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 3 videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.